Hello everybody, I missed you guys. It's been 3 days without a video, and the reason being is I went deep into research on this video, trying to find the best proof of time travel I could find. Now of course there isn't any 100% proof that time travel is real as of yet, but there are tons of stories out there, so I picked my absolute favorites to share with you guys today. From a time traveling tunnel in China to the mysterious case of Rudolph Fentz. Stick with us as we go through some of my favorite stories of possible time travel. The Portal of Liverpool. Bold Street in Liverpool has gained quite the reputation lately. Many people have claimed while on this street they have suddenly been transported back in time to the 1950s and 60s. Now what's very interesting about this case is it's not just one person. There have been dozens of reports over the past couple of years of people just walking down the street, then bang, they're back in the swinging 60s. Tim Swartz also wrote a great article on this subject called On the Edge of Time, only making Bold Street in Liverpool a very popular tourist destination these days. The Time Travel Tunnel in China. This is very interesting. In China there was a rumor going around, and it started getting extremely popular. People have said that if you drive through this tunnel, you lose an hour on your watch. So some people decided to put this rumor to the test. They did their research, tracked down the tunnel, and they were sure nothing was going to happen. But to their surprise, after they drove through the tunnel, they in fact did lose an hour on their watch. They couldn't believe it. So all day long, they kept driving through the tunnel to see what would happen. They said that 80% of the time, they would lose an hour on their watch. And about 5 minutes later, after driving further away from this tunnel, the hour would return back to their watches. Now nothing on earth can explain why this would happen. This is just one of those great mysteries. The Stock Trading Time Traveler. An unknown man made a flurry of 126 very high-risk trades and came out the winner every single time. Now of course, this raised the eyebrows of the Wall Street watchdogs. When the investigators hauled the man in for questioning, they got way more than they bargained for. The man stated that he was from the future. Now of course they didn't believe him. When you look at the facts, that's when things get very interesting. He started with only $800, and he turned that $800 into $350 million in a very short period of time. And he started trading at one of the worst times in history to trade. Now anyone armed with the right knowledge of this particular time in history could make a fortune. And no one on earth can have insider information on 126 very high-risk trades. Unless you're from the future and you already know the outcome. After they let this man go, he simply vanished without a trace, making this one of the most bizarre cases of time travel that we have on record. The mysterious case of Rudolph Fentz. This is one of New York Police Department's most strangest cases. In 1950, a police officer spotted a lone man standing in the middle of the road looking extremely confused. So the police officer approached him to offer assistance. But at this point, the light of the intersection had changed. In apparent shock, the man headed for the sidewalk in the direction of approaching traffic, and in the chaos, he was struck by a taxi and he sadly died instantly. Now when the police and the paramedics arrived, they were astonished by this man's appearance. He was dressed in old-fashioned 19th century era clothing. Even stranger is what this man had in his pockets. He had some very old coins and banknotes. None of them were dated later than 1876, and they were all in perfect mint condition. He also had a letter sent from Philadelphia that was dated June 1876. He had a brass coin for a 5-cent beer at an unknown bar, and a handful of business cards with the name Rudolph Fentz on them. Now after weeks of trying to figure out just who this guy was, they stumbled upon a missing persons report of a Rudolph Fentz in 1876. The report exactly matched the man who just died in 1950. Now with the description matching 100% and to what this man had in his pockets as well as to what he was wearing, makes this one of the most famous cases of possible time travel. The Swiss watch in an ancient tomb. In southern China, archaeologists were unearthing 400-year-old tombs from the Ming Dynasty. The archaeologists still believe to this day that they were the first to dig up these ancient tombs, as they were not damaged and had no signs of entry. What they found inside one of these tombs still remains a complete mystery. They found a Swiss watch. Now watches were not around 400 years ago, and Switzerland did not even exist as a country. So how did a Swiss watch get into an undisturbed 400-year-old tomb. The Hidden Word Stone. In June 2002, a 270 million year old hidden word stone was discovered in southern China. Now this is a very, very remote place. The Hidden Word Stone says the Chinese Communist Party collapses. Now this ancient Chinese writing is estimated to be 270 million years old. Nature doesn't make perfect Chinese writing. The age of this writing has been confirmed by many scientists, so how the heck did this get there? Maybe in the future China experiments with time travel and sends one very unlucky person back 270 million years. Another very odd thing is, shortly after this discovery, China banned time travel. Yes, they banned time travel, making the Hidden Word Stone one of my favorite possible evidence of time travel. Now there are tons of great stories of time travel out there, from the Philadelphia experiment to the Montauk Project, which I'm going to cover very soon. If you like the paranormal and just crazy out-of-this-world mysteries, make sure to subscribe. But before you go, my friend has a little something to say to you about time travel.
Most people think that time travel is impossible, but believe it or not, there's no law of physics preventing time travel. Isaac Newton thought, for example, that time was like an arrow. Once you fired it, it never deviated. Time travel was impossible. Now comes Einstein, who says, wait a minute. Time is like a river, old man river, that meanders its way around stars. The new wrinkle in all this is that we now believe that the river of time may have whirlpools. The river of time may fork into two rivers, and the river of time may perhaps be bent like a pretzel. Now, Einstein, of course, had doubts about time travel, but his office mate, Kurt Gödel, perhaps one of the greatest mathematical logicians of the last 1,000 years, was the first one in 1949 to find a solution of Einstein's equation which allowed time travel. If the universe rotates and you were to go around the universe, you would come back before you left. Einstein, of course, was puzzled that a rotating universe would allow for time travel, but he said in his memoirs that he's not worried because the universe does not rotate. The universe expands. Well, since then, we've now discovered literally hundreds of other types of solutions of Einstein's equations which allow for time travel. If you have an infinite cylinder and the cylinder rotates, and you dance around the cylinder like dancing around the maypole, you can also come back before you left and meet your parents before you're born. Another way is to have a wormhole. Take a sheet of paper, draw two dots on it, fold the sheet of paper until the two dots meet, and that's a wormhole. Alice in Wonderland had a wormhole. The looking glass of Alice is a shortcut between 2 points in space and time. Now there's a catch. Using Einstein's equations, you can show that the energy necessary to bend space and time into a pretzel is comparable to an exploding star, a black hole. Energy far beyond anything we can harness on the planet Earth. So maybe in outer space, maybe aliens have harnessed time machines, or maybe your descendants, thousands of years into the future, may have mastered the art of time travel and have harnessed the energy of a star. So one day, if somebody knocks on your door and claims to be your great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-granddaughter 1,000 years into the future, don't slam the door, because maybe your descendant got into a time machine to visit her illustrious ancestor.